Welcome to the Entrepreneur Coach podcast. I'm the Entrepreneur Coach, Bri Seeley. My mission is to help female entrepreneurs like you have the audacity to believe in the inevitability of your success, then to gather the resources, tools, and knowledge you need to create your most aligned and profitable pathway to your vision of success. This podcast is all about providing you with a nitty-gritty behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Forget the success porn and the rags to riches stories. Each episode will pull back the curtain and share the reality of entrepreneurship. I cannot wait to be part of your journey. Hello. Welcome back to the Entrepreneur Coach podcast. I'm the Entrepreneur Coach, Bri Seeley, and today I want to dive into this cycle that I've been witnessing over and over again with my clients and my colleagues, and just in general, women in business. One of the things about the culture in which we live that I've witnessed for years is that women have to prove ourselves in order to have equal footing in the world. We are first taught this in school. It's solidified in the corporate world, and then we all bring it with us into our entrepreneurial journey. Women can't even get funding off an idea like men can. We have to show our work in order to even get into a room to then be turned down. We're conditioned to work so hard. And I'm not talking about working hard as in building your dreams. There's a legitimate elbow grease required to build an empire. I'm talking overwork. I am talking the kind of overwork that causes us to underlive, the kind that causes us to sacrifice ourselves and put everything ahead of our needs and our best interest. This is more than just burnout. It is a vicious cycle that we as ambitious women just keep repeating over and over and over again. And from what I've seen, we don't know how to break it because so much of our identity, who we are, is really tied into overworking and underliving. And it is this cycle of overworking and underliving that we are going to break down today because you deserve better. We all deserve better. We did not become entrepreneurs to miss out on the freedoms that we're chasing, to miss out on the lives that we're living. We became entrepreneurs to live life on our terms, to not be encumbered by being chained to an office all day, every day, to breaking the mold. But we get into our business and then we do it to ourselves all over again. You might be asking yourself, how does Bri know about this stuff? Well, it's because it's what I did for a very long time. If you know my story, you know that I moved my fashion business to Los Angeles. And the first several years of living in Los Angeles, there I was living in my dream city after 7 years of super dreary Washington weather. And all I do every day is drive back and forth from my office to my home every day. I would get up, feed my kittens, make my cappuccino, go into the office, bust my ass from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the only reason I would leave the office is because it wasn't safe to be alone in the fashion district and walk to my car after 5 p.m. But then I'd still go home and keep working. My website, social media, etc. I was living in one of the best cities in the world, and it didn't matter. I could have been living anywhere since I wasn't actually experiencing it. Then I would work until late, pass out, get up at 6 a.m. and do it all over again. I missed out on so much when I lived in LA. Invitations, when I got them, because after saying no so many times, a lot of the invitations stopped coming. Missed out on the scenery, the food, the friendships. And I have to stop and really ask, is that what entrepreneurship is really about? Don't we all dream of so much more when we start our own businesses? I do not know, present company included, a single entrepreneur that was like, yeah, I just want to work in my business every single waking hour of my life. Yet I know so many who this is their lived experience. Why is this? I think that there's a lot of hustle porn out there that really glorifies overworking. But as I mentioned earlier, I also think this goes deeper. A lot of the clients I work with, they don't actually believe it's possible to work less and live more. They don't believe they're capable of the success they seek if they aren't burning the candle at every single end Are we really deserving of the success we seek if we find a way to do it smarter by working less and being more effective with our time? I was someone in grade school, elementary school, middle school who was an A student, and I feel like it was very ingrained into me at a young age to work hard. And again, not just work hard, but like overwork. I will never forget, there was this time in the 6th grade, we had to set our quarterly reading goals. And I think I set mine around 2,000 pages. I hit my goal within just a few weeks. So my teacher made me increase my goal, which I did, and I hit that again a few weeks later. And again and again and again. My goal by the end of that quarter was over 10,000 pages. Think about that. A 6th grader reading 10,000 pages in a quarter. Now here's the 2 kickers. Guess what my classmates' goals were? I think there was 1 or 2 other students who were at or over 2,000 pages. Here's the other kicker. I remember not hitting that final goal, and my teacher gave me a C in the class. So here I was, 11 or 12 years old, working harder than any of my peers, and I get a C. Now, I know this is not an experience that's unique to me, but then we wonder why in our 20s, in our 30s, in our 40s, we keep pushing ourselves past our limits, sacrificing our needs, putting our health in jeopardy, tanking our relationships. What finally forced me to shift my patterns and really truly sit down and look at my overworking was meeting Jordan. I had been single for 12 years, so I could work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. My cats didn't care. But I had envisioned my life with a partner for so long that I knew my love language of quality time needed to be met. I didn't want to simply just coexist with a partner and like pass each other on the way to work. I wanted an intimate connection that comes from being present with one another. I wanted sit-down dinners together multiple times a week. I wanted weekend morning adventures. And I knew that my lifestyle had to change, and it had to change quickly. Because if I didn't make it a priority to work less and live more, Jordan wouldn't be in my life for very long. Now, luckily for me, we were long distance for the first 7 months of our relationship. So it really gave me that runway to be able to make the changes and redesign my business. Now, I definitely work less than normal hours. If I'm not already in the house by 5 p.m., I make the 45-second commute across the backyard as Jordan is wrapping up for the day to make sure that we get time together. I've also built into my business not to start work before 9 a.m. I also generally take 1 day a week off in addition to not working weekends. Do I work some evenings? Yes. If Jordan's at the gym and I have the mental and emotional bandwidth, I'll pop online and get a few things done. Do I work some weekends? Yes. If I have a deadline or I feel inspired, I do. But for the most part, my life and living more has become such a non-negotiable priority. Whereas 10 years ago, living more didn't even make the priority list. So I ask you, if we become entrepreneurs for the lifestyle it affords us, why are we sacrificing that? Because here's what I've also learned. There's a level of success that we can reach through hard work. I reached that level. But the next level of success comes from leverage, not hard work. So I want to ask you, what does this look like in your business? If you're working really, really, really hard right now, what needs to shift for you to find more of that leverage rather than finding more of that hard work, trying to work yourself harder into your goals and into your growth? So I want to share just a quick client story with you to illustrate this so that you can kind of really wrap your head around this idea of working less and living more and how it can help change the results in your business as well. Because I know we also think like, oh, if I'm working less, I'm making less money. And that's not necessarily the truth. So a few years ago, I was working with a client who we're going to call May. She's in the financial services industry, and I cannot share her real name, but it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. May came to me because she had purchased a business from someone, And while she had been running it for a few years with acceptable results, it wasn't what she wanted. She came to me because she felt like all of her relationships with her clients were transactional. Her predecessor had not set her up for success. He had failed to tell his existing clients that there would be new representation taking over. It was an uphill battle from the beginning. She didn't know her clients, and they didn't know her, and she'd only review their files or reach out when the system told her to. Her clients also didn't provide referrals because they hadn't established that no love trust relationship with her. She had to overwork to keep her client load going, and then she had to overwork to solicit new clients. So clearly, adding all this up, she was working way too much, way more than she wanted. May had 2 young children and a husband, and she felt like she was missing out on a lot of their lives. Or in the moments she was with her children, she felt like she was dropping the ball in her business constantly. She really wanted to travel more with them, and it just wasn't an option. She was bringing in a decent income. She was paying her salary. She was paying her assistant, but she wanted a raise for all the hours she was putting in and, of course, 2 small children. So May, when she came to me, was on the verge of burnout. She was the epitome of overworking and underliving. She had no idea what changes to make or how to make them. She didn't know what her options were other than overworking. So we sat down and walked through her business model. We walked through her vision and we walked through her goals. Within 6 months, her business was growing 4 times faster than the national average in her industry. Her existing clients fell in love with her and not only began bringing her more of their money, but also began referring all of their friends. She got to the point where she was bringing in 7 figures a month of new investable assets for the first time. Not only that, she was able to give herself a 30% raise that year and the following year. She was able to have a more flexible schedule, and she began traveling extensively with her family. Believe me, I see all of her pictures of all of their travels pop up in my feed on Facebook. May was really able to start working less and living more because we were able to redesign her business for success. Isn't this why we all become entrepreneurs? This narrative of having to overwork ourselves into stress and burnout is a lie. Yes, absolutely, elbow grease is required, and overworking and underliving is not why any of us said yes to this journey. So if you're resonating with this, it is time to start working less and living more. I promise, 1, it's possible to you. 2, you're going to be way happier. And 3, there is way more abundance available to you. You're actually going to be able to enjoy the life that you've been working so damn hard to build. And if you don't know how to get there yourself, I have 2 resources that I want to give you. So the first is, I have a few open slots in my upcoming Women's Business Mastermind. Now, it's already half full with women who are already seeing results after their initial strategy session, but there are 5 spaces remaining and we start in January. So if you are finally done overworking and underliving and you're ready for more in your business, I want you to consider joining us. You deserve to live more. So you can visit briseeley.com/mastermind to share with me all of the details about your current business and your vision. I really want to encourage you to commit to a new way of business in 2024 and beyond. I cannot tell you how worth it is. Next, I want to share with you a free resource. I put together a 5-part training to help you walk through what I'm calling the reset. What is the reset? It's really going to help you look at your business and find the places where you are overworking, identify the places you need to leverage new revenue streams, new customer avatars, new time management techniques. What really needs to change in your business for you to get to the point where you can work less and live more, where you can 5x your income without 5xing the time that you put in. I know it seems like a foreign concept, but I promise you it is possible. And this 5-part training, the reset, is going to help you figure out what needs to go, what needs to stay, and how to move forward and implement this in your business. So if you'd like more info on that, you can go to briseeley.com/reset. Both of those opportunities are going to help you so much. Obviously, the mastermind is going to give you way more in-depth, customized understanding from someone that has been doing this a very long time. But the reset is also going to walk you through at least some ways that you can get started. And if the reset doesn't help you get to where you want to be quickly enough, you can always come back and apply for the mastermind at another time as well. I really want to encourage you to investigate this concept of overworking and underliving in your life. What is causing it? Why are you doing it? What stories are you telling yourself about why you can't work less and live more? Again, all of that is in the reset as well. So briseeley.com/reset. I want all of us in 2024 to really, truly commit to living more. This is why we became entrepreneurs. We all became entrepreneurs to live more. You have a vision of your life that you want so badly, and overworking is not the pathway to get you there. I promise. I tried it. I ended up having to shut that business down. Not because I was overworking, but that was a huge part of it. We didn't become entrepreneurs to feel like shit every single day in our businesses. It is possible to both feel good and make money and still have time for ourselves in the equation. All right? If you want to apply for the mastermind, briseeley.com/mastermind. If you would like to access the reset for free, briseeley.com/reset. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. Make sure you are subscribed. If this resonated with you, leave a rating and review. If it really resonated with you, share it with a friend. See you on the next episode. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Entrepreneur Coach podcast. I hope you gained valuable wisdom from this episode and have at least one thing you can act on today. As I always say, listening to this episode will not change your life. What you do afterwards will. Please be sure to leave a rating and a review of the show, and don't forget to share this episode with a friend or colleague who could use it. Last but not least, please have the audacity to believe in the inevitability of your success today. You deserve it.